Good morning, children. As I've already given you the notes and the question answers and a lot of material on French Revolution on WhatsApp, the chapter we have already finished, but I thought again to revise with you face to face. So I'll go through this chapter with you through my classes on Google Classroom. The written work and other things you have already done, you don't need to worry about it. But try and understand. I'll explain it to you. I wanted to explain it to you, the French Revolution, once again. French Revolution took place on 14th July 1789. To understand the revolution, now what is revolution? First of all, we must understand. Revolution is a kind of a protest where large number of people are involved to bring some political change. Alright? For example, in French Revolution, the entire country, a large number of people were involved to bring that change in political change in France. So that is why we call it as a revolution. There are other protests also, small little protests here and there. We don't call them revolution because the number of people involved is very small, the local people involved. But when the number of people involved is large, or the entire nation is involved, the masses are involved, then those protests are known as revolution. So we call French Revolution as revolution because large number of people were involved, and of course this happened in France, so we call it as French Revolution. So before we understand the various causes of French Revolution, let us first understand the society that existed at the time of French Revolution. The society in France was divided into three sections. One was the first estate, the second estate, and the third estate. There's three sections. Now what is first, second, and third estate? The first estate consisted of clergy. Now what is clergy? The people involved in church matters, for example, Pope, Father, etc., etc. They are the people combined together, taken together, known as clergy. Second estate was nobility, where rich people, rich jamidars, landlords, they were the ones who consisted, who comprised this second estate. And the third estate was mainly the peasants, the people who worked on fields, grew grains for the people to feed them, or other sections of the society like businessmen, artisans, etc., etc. Rest of them, leaving aside clergy and nobility, rest of them, they all fell into the third estate, and the majority of them, they were peasants. Now what is the problem with this that existed during this society, during revolution? The society was that the first estate and the second estate, they were exempted from taxes. Alright, they were becoming rich and richer and richer every year because they had to pay no taxes. They were exempted. The tax was only to be paid by the third estate, which consisted of about 90% of the society. So this was a kind of an imbalance between these sections, and always a heartburning existed in the third estate that they are the ones who were working hard. They were the ones who were working hard in the fields, growing food for these two sections of the society, and they had to pay taxes over and above, and they were the ones who were enjoying. They were paying no taxes. Secondly, they were the privileged society by birth. Alright, by birth they were privileged societies, and they consisted only of 10%. That is why this third estate, they always envied the first and the second estate because they were the ones who were suffering. And the first and second estate always imposed taxes on the third estate. Whenever there was need of tax, they used to impose taxes on the third estate. That is why they worked hard, they paid all the taxes, and they were rather forced to pay taxes and that is the reason a kind of a majority of the people of 90% of the third estate, they were against, and they were boiling over the years, and they wanted to find some time where they could stand up and revolt against these people, and that is how it happened during the French Revolution. How it took place, that we will discuss later, but this is how we must understand what was the composition of society during that time. Then what are the causes of French Revolution? One is the social cause. Social cause we have already discussed here. The social cause was the society divided into three sections, and the third section was against first and the second. That was the social cause. Then let us discuss the economic causes of the French Revolution. Economic means you all understand pertaining to money. Now, there was always, because with the increase of population, there was always increased demands in the food grains. So when the food grains are in demand, sometimes the crops failed because of drought or some other reasons, many other reasons. So it was difficult to meet the demand by the suppliers because the food grown was less and demand was more. So when supply is less, demand is more, what happens? It generally results into increase in prices of the commodities. That is what again used to happen during these years in the French society. The prices were increased, and there was no increase in the wages of the people working in the fields down there. So this was another cause of a resentment against the first and the second estate in the minds of the third estate. So this was also socially they were against them. Economically also they were being exploited. There was no increase in their wages, and ultimately they had to supply these food grains in the form of tax to church and nobility. The third cause, the political causes, we have this third category. The King Louis XVI, he came into power in 1774. When he came into power, the treasure of the country was empty. Why this was empty? Because of long years of war. The France was in continuous war with the neighboring countries. Over the years, more than 100 years of wars, 100-year wars we call, the France was involved in wars. So what happened? Due to the war, the treasure was drained because they had to pay for the salaries of army, they had to buy horses, the weapons, and this and that and that. So treasure was almost empty. Furthermore, because of the war, the treasure was drained and there was no money left in the treasure there, and the debt of the France as a country had risen high. They took loan from other countries, like they helped 13 colonies in America to gain independence and other things. So they had taken loan, and that was very high. So ultimately, another reason was the extravagance of the first and the second estates. A lot of money was spent ruthlessly without worrying about the treasure, about the third estate, and the country was running into debt. So what happened? To come out of this, the king thought, what? The only solution was to increase the taxes. And increase the taxes means what? Further burden on the third estate. Why? Because first and second estate, they were exempted from the taxes. So in case the taxes are to be increased, this means direct burden on the third estate, which further aggravated their envy against the first and second estates. So these are the factors which resulted ultimately into a kind of a revolution. How it happened, how the events took place, that we will discuss in the next meeting. Till today, you only have to understand the composition of the society, first, second, and the third state, and then what were the causes, the social causes, the economic causes, and the political causes of the French Revolution. All right. Thank you very much.